Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching us from. My name is Anita Irene and the program is called Issues. This is a broadcast showcased at Grassroots Television Nigeria, and we have a lot of issues to be discussed today, and I'm not going to be discussing it alone, and I have somebody in the house, somebody that is well known, Chief Patrick Eholor. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you
sir.
for having me, and thank
Very
you,
well.
viewers.
I will quickly want to go into, let's just quickly go into the program properly. Sir, a lot of persons they want to know what actually led to this issue, this problem of the Russian and the Ukraine. What's led to that?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think war should be prevented. It doesn't matter the circumstances, because at the time we fail to dialogue and sit on a round table like this, and we go on the path of war and destruction, we're still going to end up in the table. Today, I believe they're in Belarus, the Russian counterparts and the Ukraine counterparts, to try to dialogue, discuss, so that it can be a ceasefire. You see, I honestly think that Putin is very uncomfortable when they want to add Ukraine to NATO. The issue is that Americans, yes, we know they are the police of the world. We also know that Americans have commit a lot of atrocity. That is why people are confused over this issue. Because during time of Colonel Power, it's late now, there were broadcasts everywhere that the Iraq were moving their chemical warfare from one place to another, and they took that mindset to go to Iraq and destroy Iraq, right? And unfortunately, lives were lost, property were destroyed, and it becomes very untrue that they don't have anything like chemical weapon. We know that. And we also know what happened to Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. The same thing the Americans did to destroy Libya. And now they have a treaty, they have an agreement that they will not allow Ukraine to be part of NATO, because the Russians vehemently rejected that. It's not possible, because when you allowed Ukraine to be part of NATO, it means you are moving forward, you are moving too close to comfort for Russia. And the Russians have become very paranoid. And they said, over their dead body, it will never happen. Now, I will bring you back to, I'm sure you were very young then, to the missile crisis in Cuba. Okay? American couldn't allow the Russia to assist Cuba to have a missile in Cuba, because it was pointing directly to Miami. All right? So the issue is that what Americans are suggesting the Russia to do, America will not accommodate it. Now,
that was in the year 1967.
Yeah. Now, listen. For example, I'm a Canadian. Okay, all right. So, if the Canadian government now, they are close to Niagara Falls and they are pointing a missile to America, America will not accept it. America will not also accept for the Mexico to have a nuclear power according to them. But I also know that Putin has overreacted, because the separatists who wants to go back to Russia, they are aware they can do it. Instead of using the unilateral decision to say, I am backing the separatists. And this doesn't go where United Nations. Well, who is the United Nations? The late fella said, the vote is always 99 or more, because United Nations is comprising with Europeans and Americans themselves. They took any decision that will favor them, because everybody is talking about themselves. And Putin is ready to defend his territory by every means necessarily.
Okay, very well, sir. As you can see, it has already started, and we notice that a lot of countries are trying to help their citizens in Ukraine. But what some of the videos, some of the things we have been seeing is like Nigerians are stranded. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the thing is that I think it's Adike, what's her name again? Abike Dabari. When she was into non-governmental
She was a journalist.
She was a journalist. The voice were very clear. You see, Oronto, Douglas, and many of a lot of journalists that betrayed us. When there's nothing for them, the hype is there. You look at them as some demigod that they can change the narrative. But when they are too close to the power, I don't know if it's about Nigeria, they lose their senses, okay? She knows that she represents those who are in the diaspora. There were messages, there were American intelligence that said Russia is going to, annex or is going to take over Ukraine. Every citizen has to evacuate. So every country has to evacuate their citizens.
Yeah.
The European did,
Yes.
the American did, the Indians
Yes.
did, and some people did.
Yes.
But Nigerians couldn't even have a thought of it. Because if they cannot look after those of us who are in Nigeria...
According to the video, she said Nigerians over there should move close to Poland.
Yeah,
also.
the border, but why would you say that? And she was giving out some directly about 8 connecting points of different border
yes.
that Nigeria can walk through.
Yes.
I mean, that's not a responsible idea. Because if the country as Nigeria is responsible, the need to care for their citizens, whether at home or diaspora, would have been very important. So, we really don't have... We don't have anybody that represents us. All they do is to represent themselves, and which is preposterous, because I feel that before he gets to this stage, Nigeria would have sent their aeroplane there, or even borrowed if they don't have one, to evacuate their citizens. And even as we speak today, you have not had the Senate president speak anything about it. You've not had the president of this country speak anything about it. So Nigeria is a joke. I hope and pray that one day we can get it right. There's no system in Nigeria. Nothing works in Nigeria, So I hope one day we'll get it right. And I also pray for those ones now who are displaced. I pray that there will no death. I pray that there will not something that will really cause us to regret that if we have we'll have reached out to them to help them first. Even as we speak now, before this situation, I saw some video that went viral. I think it was a Nigeria female footballer. They were stuck. So I don't really understand why this country cannot do the right thing. Is it that difficult to do what is right for your country or for your citizens?
Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Chief Patrick Eholor, and let's go next to what actually brought us to this place. The level of insecurity in Nigeria, especially in Edo State. We know what happened about 4 days ago on Thursday last week. The issue of robbery. 5 banks were robbed for about 2 hours, 30 minutes unhindered. Nobody by now. Okay, so what do you have to say about that?
Well, on this I made a comment. I sent a message to the governor, Godwin Noah Obaseki, and I said, it's surprising. I mean, you collect security votes, and the life of us and property is not secure. I said, is there anything about it? Can you explain to us? Is it a curse or a blessing that you're a governor? But I'm still here to receive a response from him. I think we as people, we are naive, Currently, let me tell you, this might interest you. About 6 or 7 months ago, I had to take the federal government to court. I told the federal government that we as citizens, when we are over 18 years, and they check our criminal records, that we have no criminal records, that we're entitled to have a gun. I remember when I was growing up, my father used to have a double barrel, either for hunting or for protection. Because if I was your brother or your friend, we are friends now, and I'm traveling with you, and some henchman or some touts stop me because they had a gun, and then abuse you, molest you, I could do anything, I'll be paying for the rest of my life. But if I have a gun with me that the American does, who taught you about democracy, you think twice before you walk into my house, because I might take you. You become a matter of first to shoot. So I told the federal government to court that we as citizens has a right to have a gun, because nobody's protecting us. When the president is going, you have a motorcade with about infantry, battalions of soldiers. Commissioner of police have the same thing. Governor have DSS, SSS, or whatever you call them, to protect him. What about us? It's in our constitution that our life and our property, it's guaranteed. That's the first amendment in the constitution. But is anything guaranteed? No. So the reason I say that is that I also think that there has to be an amendment in our constitution. They have to stop this idiotic money given to governors of every state called security vote. They don't deserve it. It was the military who did that because the military thought they're going to be there forever. Because when they pull their military uniform, they come with khaki to continue the governance. And that's why in the 1999 constitution, the people were not involved. It was about them. And that's why we're fighting for a referendum, so that we can do a referendum, so that we can all agree that we need to amend 1999 constitution, because it didn't favor us as citizens. Now, why would you be giving any governor 750 million monthly, 1 billion monthly? It doesn't make any sense, because it's a fraud you can't question, because they call it security vote. But are we secure as a citizen? That's a question you should ask. So I also think that the power the center have is too big. Everything has to be about Abuja. It ought not to be so. Even the London, they have their Metropolitan Police. Yes. They have the My Fight. I am from Canada. We have Ontario Police. We have ROCMP. The American has the New York Police. They also have FBI. So there's a need for us to have state police. What does that mean? State police means that you are recruiting people from your vicinity, from the states, from your neighborhood, people who knows everybody, right? And some people argue that the government will take care, will use the state police in advantage.
I thought that was what brought the issue of vigilante.
Yeah, but vigilante cannot be compared with state police because they didn't do it properly. Because vigilante were not trained on how to carry gun. Vigilante was just a bunch of some people who belong to various courts, and they give gun to harass market women and drivers, okay? They had no proper training. You cannot give a gun to any person who doesn't have formal training, because you can cause more damage than good. You know what I mean? So I don't believe in that. I think, honestly, we have so many men and women who are roaming the street without employment. I think we should invest more on the youth and recruit them into the policing system. I think our life will be more better, because there would have been a reprisal if we have state police that will combat and meet those armed robbers on one-on-one. They have a free day because they know that there's no security in the states. And they know that. And then the governor is going there. The governor didn't even go there the next day. He sent Felix Shaibu there to go there. This is nonsensical. This is nonsense. Because nothing that ever happened to a citizen here, when Noah Obaseki will go there and really sympathize with citizens, embrace them, and provide solution. And whenever I say, people think I hate Godwin. I never hate Godwin, but Godwin doesn't have any idea about governance. And people call him a technocrat. Technocrat what? My foot? It doesn't work like that, Yeah, it doesn't work like that, Believe me.
Yes, we've come to the end of the program, Core Issues. My name again is Anita Erin. Join me again tomorrow for another exciting edition of this program. Thank you.